iMac. So we go straight on to The Revenant then, which is not quite as joyful as...
No, it's not really quite as joyful as...
This is a tough watch, but there's kind of no reprieve.
Did we tell the story of what happened before The Revenant?
We did last week, but it's worth another mention, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we saw Star Wars in IMAX 3D.
Yeah.
It was the second time I'd seen Star Wars, so obviously we were very excited and just sort of overwhelmed by how brilliant it was again, and so much more to take in. So we leave that at 8:10. We've got our screening of, well, we didn't know what it was going to be, at 8:15, so we're literally straight out of that into the next one. The idea of these screenings is they don't tell you what the film's going to be. There's some trailers at the start that give away what it isn't, and obviously promote some things that are coming up at that cinema. And it turns out we'd missed one of the trailers, and that was The Big Short. We thought it was going to be The Big Short as the film. It wasn't. It was The Revenant. And Joe, you like grabbed my knee and you were like, "Oh God!"
Well, you put your head on my shoulder and just said, "I'm gonna have a heart attack."
I felt like I was gonna have a heart attack.
It's a justified reaction. My heart was like, it could have jumped out of my mouth. So, The Revenant.
So The Revenant, yes. We've been looking forward to this for a long, long time.
Since Birdman.
Yeah. So the first thing I have to say basically is, if Leonardo DiCaprio doesn't win an Oscar for this, what will he win it for?
Well,
there's lifetime achievement.
Yeah. I think. Yeah,
oh no, that'd be the cruelest joke.
His next project, or one of his next projects, is a Scorsese reunited.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? The first serial killer you were saying?
H.H. Holmes and his murder castle.
Ooh, I
love that name. That is a hell of a name.
If you like reading about Hugh Glass, read about H.H. Holmes. It's fascinating.
Right.
Well, that's not the name of the film. That's like the serial killer H.H. Holmes, and he had a murder castle.
Nice.
Not a castle, but like it was a hotel in which he killed everybody.
Not the same, but
sounds a bit like Psycho, doesn't it?
No, that's different.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's much more grim.
That sounds good, but okay.
Oh yeah, so
he has to win for this.
Yeah, so
basically.
Leonardo DiCaprio playing Hugh Glass, who is basically an expeditionary. He is the leader of a group of American soldiers who are out on an expedition for pelts and fur skins. He is the man who knows the way around the wilderness the best. However, his group has he himself has an incident with a bear that leaves him basically clinging on for life. It's an incident with the bear that you see in the trailer, and it's gruesome. It's very, very...
It's a lot longer in the film.
Uncomfortable, and it seems to go on forever.
It goes on for like a solid 6 minutes, I would say.
I hope the CGI holds up. I know Joe wants the CGI to hold up.
I think the technique will make it
There's
hold
a bit
up.
where you think it's finished, and he's just getting
then it just
started.
keeps going on. But you really do feel the grimness and the grittiness of it. It's horrible. But yeah, he gets attacked by the bear. He's clinging on for dear life. They can't get him back up the mountain. So Domnhall, Gleeson's captain, leaves Leonardo DiCaprio basically seconds from death with Leonardo DiCaprio's son, who was half white, half Cherokee, and that is why Tom Hardy's character really dislikes Leonardo DiCaprio and his son, because he is a racist, an extreme racist, and he feels like he is more important and deserves more respect and deserves more money from the mission, and he and Will Poulter basically leave him for dead after Hardy convinces him he is dead and kills Leonardo DiCaprio's son and goes
finish him off quick.
Finish him off quick.
Quick.
Look at me when I'm talking to you.
It's a great accent.
Yeah, it's great. And that starts DiCaprio's vengeance trip, because he has killed his son and now he has nothing more to do because I've done it already. I've died already.
My son.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only word I can describe DiCaprio's performance really is electric, because it is just absolutely fascinating to watch him develop as that character and see him overcome the obstacles that he describes. It's a very different film. Because I'm not going to say your name, director. I'm going to call you Ali G, just for the purposes of time and for not butchering your name, because
I think it's Inarritu.
Inarritu, yeah.
Or Inarritu.
I say Inarritu.
I say Inarritu, yeah. So it's
very
different from director Leonardo's last film, Birdman. Extremely different, because this is a lot more but I mean the way it's filmed and the way but what?
I think that some of the like sort of long takes, like obviously Birdman was
but
I know it
themes,
cheated.
Characters,
some of the sort of transferable themes like man versus man.
True. But I mean, it's a lot more patient. It's a lot more reflective.
If I had more time, I'd do a whole big think piece about why it's not actually that different.
Musing on nature and society, and it's got a lot of themes that it explores. And I've seen a lot of criticism saying, "Oh, you don't care about the story. Oh, it looks pretty, but it's empty emotionally." I
was worried from the start that I wasn't going to get engaged with it properly, because it's kind of very, very. It opens very big, and you kind of wonder when it's gonna. Click.
Because all of these shots of nature, which are fantastic, all natural light, DOP
I think the landscape shots look better than Hateful Eight.
Yeah, they're absolutely
Yeah,
it's
they
absolutely terrific. There's some impossible almost scenes in there that are just so fantastically directed and shot that it's brilliant to see. But those scenes help to carry the story along. Those shots help the story to develop. They are always in connection with DiCaprio's character and his personal journey of vengeance, because you get to see him develop and you get to see nature, the obstacle in his way as he goes on. I mean, Tom Hardy himself is fantastic. You know, you get to see the fear and the angst and the determination to get away from DiCaprio because he knows what's coming. Will Poulter's great as that man who's only following orders. You know, he's a fantastically talented young actor.
It's a great mature performance.
Yeah, it's brilliant, but I mean, it's all about DiCaprio. I mean, that man is just it's a thunderstorm of brilliant acting. That's what it is. He's just terrific from start to finish. It's just it's wonderful to see him finally get this role, because I think he is going to whitewash the board completely. He's going to win it absolutely easily, I think.
I hope so. I don't think
it's a film that, despite being a little long, that's not a bad thing at all. It engages you, it grips you, and it's got an emotional story at the centre of it that gets you along and sweeps you for the entire ride with the fantastic visuals. I literally had a headache on the way out. I could only see in black and white almost. After seeing Star Wars on IMAX beforehand and then seeing this, it was too much for my eyes to handle. I could not see. It's so wonderfully shot, wonderfully scored, and just the themes that it explores are so tense and personable, and you really, really feel that emotional journey that DiCaprio goes on, and that's probably why he should win for me, because you really do get to see him develop as a character, and that's what you need to win Best Actor.
People do ask me a lot, why do we do this, like see films back to back, or why do we go so much? And I say this is why.
Yeah.
We might have really, really sore bums. We might not be able to walk.
Might have no dignity left. It's true.
We might get back home at midnight and have pounding headaches, but I think the back to back, like, this was a good double bill, and like it caught us by surprise.
We could not ask for much better, really.
Well, especially when we weren't expecting the Revenant, were we?
No.
We weren't expecting it at all.
Not at all.
No, not at all.
Yeah, Joe, anything to add?
Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, physically, just like for 11 months shooting this film, like the stuff he had to endure, and the stuff in the film is just unbelievable. It's probably one of the best roles
There's
he's
stuff
done.
in there that you can't fake.
Yeah, I mean, there's
So
accusations that
it's
like the big accusations for the film for Leonardo DiCaprio, because he doesn't have many lines in the film. It's strictly physical. Is obviously, you know, like, could have been anybody else, but I don't know.
My question was going to be, who else could have done it?
I don't know, because it's like many things.
Do you think Redmayne would have done that?
No, it's like it's certain things where once you see it, you can't imagine anybody else doing it.
Yeah.
Obviously we know the plot, but the big thing about The Revenant is obviously straight away the style. Yeah. I mean, you get Emmanuel Lubezki. It's a very popular style. His use of the wide angle lens. I mean, I read on that. I saw that interview between Michael Mann and the director that they never went wider than 16mm, which is insanely ultra wide. That's why you get like these absolutely gigantic landscapes, and how you can straight away in the film, from like the scenes of fighting and all that, you get there straight away from the close up to just all of a sudden like a massive landscape and the turn of a camera. But the big debate is obviously mainly between you know, for some reason it's split on Chivo's cinematography, because some people say when you realise the camera's there, it takes them out of the film, or it enhances the realism due to the wide angle lenses. And personally, I'm in the latter camp, because by the end of The Revenant, I was absolutely exhausted.
Yep.
And the bus journey back didn't seem that long, and it was fine.
Well, but we both did Gates at Sunderland, didn't we?
Yeah.
56.
And yeah,
so worth it.
Yeah, in the end, I absolutely loved The Revenant. I love the cinematography. I still have no idea how any of those shots were done. It's one of the most stunning films I've seen in this past decade. And first Blu-ray buy. And my only accusations of the film will be that sometimes it does get a bit Terrence Malick-y, but it works because for the backstory for Leonardo DiCaprio's, you know, character Hugh Glass. But yeah, I really enjoyed The Revenant. Really recommend it. It made from going from a big IMAX screen to a smaller screen seem big again.
It was quite a trend. It wasn't too harsh a transition, was it?
No.
If it had been like The Big Short, maybe it would have been like.
At first, when the screen, when there was nothing on, but then once it started, fantastic.